itch. I'm gonna get a chair for our next performer, which the last time I had to say that, I was working Cosplay Burlesque. This is what I've chosen to do with my adult life. Oh, college. I want you guys to welcome a very special skit coming up here. At the beginning when I first started doing cons, the first thing that I ever did, my first show was the Big Apple Anime Festival, and that was the year that Inuyasha was premiering on Adult Swim. That was the year that the creators of Cowboy Bebop were arriving in New York City to discuss the release of the movie. I got to stand not 20 feet away from the creative team from Yoko Kanno, knees buckling, and at that point I pretty much wish I had a reserve bladder, but we left the hall and there was a Spike Spiegel just leaning against the door. Now, here's the crazy part. Right before he got on to ask his question, there was if you guys have ever seen Trigun, there's a villain called the Horn Freak. He plays a saxophone that causes pain. He went up and he had a question for the director. Asked the question, and then Yoko Kanno says, "You gonna play or what?" He starts blasting Tank on the saxophone. Yoko Kanno starts banging the conga line on the desk, actually doing Tank with the guy. So this bastard's on cloud 9. And right afterwards, we got to go out, and there was a Spike Spiegel leaning against the wall, and it was so unbelievable and touching to me because just representing something that was larger to him to dress up and represent Spike Spiegel. There was something amazing about whenever someone dresses on something, puts something on, that's what they want to represent. That's the role model that they see. That's where their inspiration comes from, which is what really shocked me the one year as I was leaving this very convention center. There was a gentleman who just seemed to be on the verge of worst day ever, but I walk over and I ask, "Are you cosplaying me?" First time out of 20 times I've ever asked that question, he just said, "I guess I am." And the next year, another came cosplaying me. And this year, another has come cosplaying me. I don't know what it is, but I want you to please welcome the host of the Comic Run podcast, started here at Tekkoshocon. Please welcome Aaron Yo Abridge Fristic. Welcome, my man. Great to have you back. There's a show coming out this summer. It starts with an S. Ends with Iron Chef. I can't do that joke anymore, so you're on to tell us how to tell your dad you like Sailor Moon. I have a feeling it probably went over better than when I had to tell my dad, man. They're all yours, dude. Please welcome Aaron.
Hey guys, it's been a year since I was last on stage for Masquerade. Now I'm here legitimately. Masquerade 2013, let me hear it. I need new pants. So, I gotta tell you guys, when I started out in anime, I grew up in the golden age of Toonami. Not this midnight run stuff we have now. I'm talking those afternoon blocks that started Welcome Toonami Faithful. I'm talking Tenchi Muyo, Gundam Wing, and of course, Sailor Moon. Now, I gotta stop at Gundam Wing for a minute, because I'm 12 years old, I loved Gundam Wing, I bought all the action figures, so the question was, what was I going to do with them? I was going to imagine I was going to get into the cockpit of one of these little action figures. And it was amazing how it worked, too. You pretend you open the cockpit, you tried to fit all the way into it, pulled down the canopy, closed it, awesome. And then, as soon as you did all that, pew-pew, pew-pew, pew-pew. And it was with me and a whole bunch of my friends, but, you know, my sister actually got in on it. I bought her a heavy arms Gundam. Mom said I had to be nice. But the strangest thing happened. We were all 13, and once a month, my sister would have this invulnerability. We couldn't stop her. She destroyed everything. It was insane. Destruction everywhere. Arms, parts flying everywhere. I asked my friend Corey, what did my mom say? She said, well, it's supposedly a special time for her. I don't know what the hell that means. So we went along for it for a while until she destroyed everything we had. Then we went to the Walmart down the street. Now, talked about my mom a little bit, so I gotta bring her into this. My mother's a very religious woman. I had just turned 15. I'm starting that rebellious phase. What does an otaku do at 15 to really make his, very religious mother very angry? That's right, I bought Hellsing. I come home one day and she has volume 1 opened right where Alucard had shot Father Anderson dead in the head. I looked her in the eye and felt much like Sam Neill in Jurassic Park. Its visual cue is based on movement. And she asked me ever so menacingly, is this what you bought with your allowance? And ever so slightly I went. Then my dad, ever so chipper, sitting in his morning chair, reading the morning paper. Wow, you bust the kid about the religion, but not the big-breasted police girl on page 14. Can someone say priorities? Now my dad. I love my father. Bit serious right now. He's very sick, but he knows I'm here doing this show, and I'm dedicating this to him. Let me tell you something. When he would sit and watch Dragon Ball Z with me on Toonami. He would invite his friends over with beers. They'd watch like they were watching boxing. Vegeta, for God's sake, punch! Dodge! Punch! What are you shooting him for? He's in the smoke. You can't get him. All the rest of them are going, what in the hell are you doing? Oh, it was great. When we brought new people over to join our little anime club, he'd bring out the Hamtaro test tape we put every person through and say, may the Dragon Balls have mercy on your soul. So, one night, finally, Toonami airs Sailor Moon Hearts of Ice. I was jumping out of my underwear. I was so excited. I'm like, it's a series now, it's a movie! Yes! That was also the time Mom and Dad decided they were going to take an interest in what Aaron watched. So, through that 1 hour, schoolgirl love fest, they just kind of were giving looks like, oh dear God. I went to bed not thinking anything of it. Next thing I know, in the morning, I come down to get something out of the fridge. Dad says, son, I have to talk to you. Well, the first thing was he was talking to me very strangely, so I knew something was wrong. So I sat down. And I asked him, okay, what do you need to talk about? Son, that movie, Sailor Moonbeam, that we watched last night. Sailor Moon, Dad. Yes. Sailor Moon, yeah. Son, I have a very difficult question for you. By this time, his head was literally, it's like a waterfall. Sweat pouring down. I thought he was going to flood the kitchen. He would have got the dishes done. But, yeah, I just, okay, he's going crazy. And finally, he just keeps asking and asking. I got a question for you, I finally ask him, what is it? What do you have to ask? Son, after seeing that movie, I have to ask, are you playing for the other team? Because there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely fine. I love you. Dad, I'm 15 years old. It's girls in short skirts and, well, you know. He was so excited, he got ready for work, patted himself on the back. I'm sitting there thinking one last horrifying thought. What is he gonna do when he finds out that my 4-year-old niece is not the only one who likes My Little Pony? You've been a fantastic audience, thank you so much!
You may go, man, for your old Rich Christic. And I do hope you will be downloading off of Amazon and Libsyn episodes of The Comic Run.